Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Tuesday show as we are on the 6th and final episode of the AWA Remcos. So, going through the first 5 weeks, the first 5 series of the 1980s of the AWA Remcos. This video, much shorter. We're basically just going to be glancing over some of the accessories and some of the regular He-Man style figures that, Remco produced. And some of these characters, like the Mashers, I didn't have any of those things when I was young. I didn't even have bootlegs of those. I wasn't even familiar with these items until recently. I scratch that. I take that back. I was familiar with them, but I've learned about them through other channels, through other collectors, and hearing them talk about this stuff. But this wasn't something I grew up with, right? But when you make these type of videos, you want to have as much of a complete collection as possible, especially when you're making it for the viewers, so they can kind of see what is available, what's out there for that particular line. So for any item that I don't have somewhere up here or here, I don't know, I'll install some kind of photograph so you guys can kind of see what is out there. Now, 1985. Let's backtrack. Series 1 AWA Remcos were released, right? So, we know LJN, your first 5, Stud, Hogan, Iron Sheik, etc. They were the first name brand, name recognized wrestlers to come to the U.S. market, North American market. And shortly thereafter, 1985 rolls around, AWA releases their name brand characters for their AWA Remco figures. So that was pretty amazing, right? Now, 1985 released Series 2. They also came out with Series 3, but they didn't just simply stop with Series 1 and 2 2-packs and Series 3 3-packs. They also came out with these Fight to the Finish 2-packs that also included a video cassette. Now, anybody that actually has those new in package, mint on card, however you want to describe them, 2-packs with cassette, you are a very wealthy man. Those things are legitimate Holy Grail pieces. And I'm going to put them up here probably right now. Something I desperately want badly for the collection. Oh my God. They are absolute unicorns. So I did take down some photographs because I'm not going to remember all the characters, right? Let me get to the very beginning here. So, Fight to the Finish, which did include Michael Hayes versus Rick Martel. And I think that's what I have right here. Michael Hayes versus Rick Martel on the video cassette. So, and in the photograph that I'm going to attach, it's going to show you the 2-pack. It's basically the exact same figures that you got in any of the releases. Baron von Raschke versus Rick Martel. Either variation. Or the Freebirds. Was it Freebirds? Michael Hayes. Yeah, that was Freebirds. So, in Series 3, so it's not like you're getting completely different figures or anything. It's literally the exact same piece, right? Did I only take one picture down? Nah, there's 3 pictures here. So there was that one. There was Greg Gagne, and looks like it's Buddy Rose. So they got another one right there. And why do they sign? These all come up in it's like one picture, but they have like 3 pictures in one. I hate that your cell phones do that nowadays. The other one is looks like Kurt Hennig and who is that? Michael Hayes? No, that's Steven Regal. Steve Regal. So that's your 3 fight to the finish 2-packs with video cassettes. Think about this. Even your video cassette on auction can probably go for like $30 at least. Even these are very collectible pieces. I mean, are people sitting back buying these and watching them? To be honest, I doubt it. I know when I bought this, I still have not even put this in the VCR not one single time. I bought it for the collection. Do I have intention to watch this one day? Probably. It's not WWF. So I very much doubt that this will ever be copyrighted on YouTube. So I might make a video where all we do is watch this. But I'm worried about copyright infringement, right? And I might have to do something where I kind of like, talk about it. That way it's not 100% copyright. I am adding something more to the video. So I am adding thoughts, and so much, something more to it. So, we could do that. That's something. With WWF, all my stuff gets banned, gets struck. So, that's something. All right. Holy Grail pieces, no doubt. Still 1985. Accessories. Let's talk about accessories. What is the biggest accessory? Companies like Hasbro, Galoob, LJN, Remco, etc. What are the biggest accessories that you can have? Championship belts? Okay, that's nice to have. Clothing accessories, hats, weapons. Sure. The wrestling rings. The wrestling rings are no doubt one of the biggest accessories that any toy company can manufacture to come along with your wrestling figures. Even bootleg action figures, bootleg wrestling figures have their own wrestling rings, and they're pretty spectacular. And the box art on the wrestling ring itself, the 1985 All-Star Wrestling Ring, is pretty sensational. Now, I already had a couple of these rings, right? So when I bought this one, and alright, there is a ring inside this box, I didn't need it. That's why I've never even taken the ring out of the box. Now, why did I buy this if I had no intention in opening it, taking the ring out? I bought it for the box, man. I bought it for the new and package, MOC, whatever. I mean, it's open, so it's not like it's 100% mint, but the good thing is you're not having to tear open the box. And I can see, based on this, this is the hard-based wrestling ring. So, that's something. But I did think, I do believe that when I bought this, I was buying it based on being MOC, NIP, new package, right? So, but a lot of time for collectors, having that box art is so important. But here's your wrestling ring. Your All-Star Wrestling Ring with the cloth apron. Beautiful, right? Ever gets dirty, take it off, throw it in the washing machine, bam. Beautiful graphics. Just like your clothing accessories, cloth accessories on the action figures. Having this as cloth, not your hard base like your LJN or your Hasbro ring. So this was a really nice thing. What I don't like about some of the wrestling rings, because there's 2 variations. And you have this wrestling ring variation, but you also have the Battle Royal variation, right? And probably here-ish, I'm going to put up variant 1 and variant 2 of the wrestling rings, of the Battle Royal wrestling ring. And I believe we were still 85, 86 for the Battle Royal wrestling ring. And different box set, different graphical art, same ring. But one version, you got cardboard, you got a cardboard base. I mean, it's still a nice, harder cardboard, right? So it's not like it's weak. You can still play on this, no doubt. But it's cardboard. You can break this if you fall on this, or if you're too rough with this. Still, you go back to variant 2. This could be All-Star Wrestling Ring. This could be the Battle Royal. They did come out with both versions, again, with the hard wooden base. So, both rings, pretty awesome. And my God, that is a lot of glue. They put a lot of glue on this, but that's pretty awesome. But solid piece. I like it a lot. I had been storing my WCW Galoob figures loose in that wooden piece, but I think I'm going to swap it out and put it in this one, just because it's, like I said, stronger, more sturdier. Alright, so, kind of move forward. So, Battle Royal 1985 Remco All-Star Wrestling Ring. So, in my last review in Series 5 Met Mania, I knew that the Curly Brown referee was part of one of the wrestling rings, the Battle Royal wrestling ring, right? I thought Dick Worley was strictly a Matt Mania release. And I thought Curly Brown might have been just part of the wrestling ring release. And Nasty Ned, I thought possibly he could have been part of the wrestling ring and then re-released in Matt Mania, or maybe just strictly Matt Mania. I wasn't 100% sure based on, because again, I wasn't 100% sure. But looking at the wrestling figure database, if you're looking up, wrestling collections, awesome source. You look up Hasbro's, LJN, Galoob, basically any wrestling line. One of my favorite sources to go to, the wrestling figure database. So it says that Nasty Ned, Dick Worley, or Curly Brown could have been found in either version of Series 1 or, Variant 1, Variant 2 of the Battle Royal playset. So it did come with, looks like 6 different wrestling figures, or 7 different wrestling figures, plus the referee. So, that was pretty freaking amazing. And, strong characters, like, the Fabulous Ones. You got Rick Martel. You got Legion of Doom. So you got a couple tag teams. You got one of their youngest superstars, Rick Martel. You got Baron Von Raschke. So you definitely got one of their older superstars there. So it's pretty amazing. Let's see. Ooh. Yep, this is a good one right here. Now, when was this one released? Does it have a date on the back? 1985. So pretty much everything came out in 85, man. Yeah, I got to give credit to to this AWA, man. When they started producing, their different toys and whatnot, they did not hold back. They went all out in 85. Now, I don't have this one loose, but getting this carded, it was enough for me. The official All-Star Wrestlers Championship belt. Now, this does hold up to 5 wrestlers, and you would just take your AW wrestling figures and you would just attach it to the belt, here, 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 etc. Once you unstrap the belt, of course, you'd have an additional 2 loops where you could attach your wrestling figures. And in fact, yeah, up here you can actually see what it looks like. So, So that's pretty interesting, right? And obviously they're made for small children. You see the picture up here with the kid wearing the belt and what it looks like with the figures attached. Pretty awesome, right? And they stick with the amazing graphics. It would be nice if it actually had Digicolor to the graphics, but even black and white, pretty sensational. So, your championship belt. Oh. I skipped one thing. I don't know why I skipped it, but I'm going to move ahead to, do I have the date on here? I don't have the date, but I believe this was also 85. Yeah, I don't see the date on here, but I think this is 85, maybe 86. And I'm going to put a picture here for the actual box set because I don't have this in box. But the steel cage match play set, which does come by, can get it out, with a couple of prongs. Number one, and get it out. Number two. All right, so your red apron, steel cage. So you can either use the cage or not, doesn't matter. I actually, when I bought this, I had to replace the original ropes because they were all loose and whatnot, you know, not nice and tight. So I had to get some custom ropes, and now they're perfect, super freaking tight, beautiful. Ring displays beautifully. Got a beautiful open door over here somewhere. Where you at? Where the heck's the door at? There it is. So the door over here pops open. I like that a lot. So, yeah, they're wrestling rings. I think Remco has probably some of the most amazing wrestling rings. The bottom of the base, this one is actually plastic. So you got a hard wooden base, you got a cardboard base, you got a plastic base. They swap it out constantly, but none of the wrestling rings are poor quality. No matter which one you're a fan of, I think I like the plastic one to be the best, if we're being honest. Maybe because I like the color the best, I don't know. But yeah, the steel cage box I would very much love to have, but man, how much does a steel cage ring new in box go for? And it doesn't have to be brand new, you know, enclosed, never open type of deal, because shoot, that would probably go for a grand. And you know, somebody out there probably would have gotten that, you know, certified and enclosed in some acrylic case, AFA graded and whatnot. And now it's going to be selling on eBay for like $2,000 or something crazy, right? So, no, it could be an open box. I don't care. Open box with ring inside, a couple $100. I'd buy it for that. But even if somebody's selling just the regular box with nothing inside, $30. I mean, that's probably where I'd be. But if like someone's like, hey, $60 for like a box and nothing else, would I pay $60 for an empty box? It's an empty box. I mean, that's where my mind is, right? But like, I'd buy it for the graphical detail. But yeah, that is the last of the rings. I only have two more things to show you guys. And in 1986, they came out with these little miniature figures. And here is picture one. that shows you these little mini mashers that Remco came out with, which is a 4-pack of mini wrestlers. I don't know what the heck this was all about. I mean, they're just basically some kind of bootleg characters, multicolored rainbow action figures that look weird. I assume, well, I don't assume, I know, because literally on the back of the box they show you exactly who the characters are supposed to be, but it's so difficult to try and pinpoint like who they are. I'm not a fan, but they also came out on top of a 4-pack. They also came out with this 8-pack of mini wrestlers, mini mashers as they are called. So on top of the 4-pack, I assume that's the 4-pack right there, right? These are your 8 wrestlers. I guess the 4 up here are for those 4, your bottom 4, right? So in this 8-pack, you got Scott Hall, Kurt Hennig, Boris Zukov, John Nord, Larry Zbyszko, Nick Bockwinkel, Ric Flair, and Stan Hansen. So like I'm looking at these guys and I'm like, I mean, maybe Stan Hansen is the guy with the hat. That's about all I could tell. I mean, up here, I mean, is that Ric Flair? Or is that Ric Flair? Like, but then Ric Flair is on the bottom, right? So maybe, are one of these guys Ric Flair? Like, is that Ric Flair? Like, I'm looking at these, I can't tell. Like, as a kid, how could you decipher? I mean, I know I'm kind of slow and all, but damn, I'm having a hard-ass time looking at these and pinpointing who's who. So, I bought these for this review video. But, like, as far as a collector, like, these really don't mean anything to me, for being honest. Will I resell these now that this review video is going to be done? Probably not. I mean, it's still nice for the collection, for the AWAs and the Remcos. Now, Mini Mashers also came out with a 12-pack. So, I don't know what they have in the middle, because all you see is 8 figures. These 2, 4, 6, 8. But I assume that there's 2 right here and 2 right here behind this right here, right? Now, can I open this up a little bit? I'm probably sure I can, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I can kind of see inside there. I can see another blue guy right there. Yep, I can see another. Yeah, so there's probably like 3 of each color. And I like the little cartoons on the back of the package as well. So, and as far as characters, they got the exact same characters. See on the back of this one, Midnight Rockers and Road Warriors. So, same thing on this set. Whatever you do, don't let them out. I like the cartoons. I like the caricatures of the wrestlers and everything. So this was a nice pickup. I like this one a lot. Maybe because this one's much smaller and not up to... But this right here, I like this. Maybe the figures don't really do much for me, but the cartoons on the back, I like that. So maybe that's why I have no interest in getting rid of this. But all in all, it's fun. So as far as AWA, this is the last of the Tuesday shows for the AWA Remcos. Next week, we are going to start probably, which might possibly be the last 2 weeks of the Tuesday shows, because we're going to dive into the WCW Galoobs for Series 1 and Series 2. Now, if I do get my custom figures back in time, we will look at the unreleased Series 3 prototypes. but I've had them out for a while, and I don't know if they'll be back, shipped back to me in time for Series 3. If they're not, then we just won't review them, right? Not in hand, can't do anything about them. Otherwise, we'll look at the WCW Galoobs Series 1 and Series 2 over the next couple of weeks, and that'll most likely close out the Tuesday shows. Now, if you guys are interested in having me move forward, I can still probably move on to WCW Original San Francisco Toymakers, and I can knock out up to Series 4 or Series 5. I think Series 5 is vibrating figures, and I'm okay with that. I have all the big figures, but like once they start getting into size 4.5 inches, I stop collecting the line once it hit the smaller figures. But that's about it. Other than that, you guys, message me if you're interested in any other line, like Wrestle Something Wrestlers, Grapplers and Gimmicks. You choose line. Mattel. If you want to go back into Mattel Retros, I can do that again. Last time we stopped at, I think we stopped at Series 10. I don't know if we started doing the Wave 11 or Wave 1, which would, again, Series 11, Wave 2, Wave 3, etc. with Mattel Creations. We might have, but I don't remember that far back. Or, I know my buddy BBA, he mentioned he'd like to have me re-review all of the NECA Toonie Terrors. Tuesday shows don't have to be wrestling related. If you guys like to see the Toonie Terrors, I can go back and re-review the NECA Toonie Terrors Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, etc. You guys know my collection probably better than I know my collection, so choose something of interest, and I could pull it out. We could take a look at it. But that's it for now, guys. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Take care, everybody.